Welcome to the channel for the first time viewers. Welcome back for my existing subscribers. Today we are going to do a GPU swap. So let's go ahead and get this system ready for that. We're going to go ahead and head over to, we're just going to type in DDU on installer here. And from there, you're going to go ahead and look for the Guru 3D. So the display driver uninstaller download. I might already have it in my downloads folder, but that's fine. So scroll down. You'll find your different locations. Just select East Coast. It should start the update or the download here in a second, so we'll give it a second to kind of fire up. If not, there it is right here. Then we're going to unzip this. So we're going to go ahead, extract all, keep it there, run the exe, extract it. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and switch to my cell phone camera, but first we're going to go ahead and boot up in safe mode. So the way you can go into safe mode is by holding your shift key and then you can hit restart. So this will be where I end this part of the video and I'll switch over to the cell phone. So it's going to be a little bit harder to see, but you know, it'll work in the end. So follow me through. All right, so we are now back. Don't worry about this here. It's like an overclock thing. We're going to go ahead and hit troubleshoot, advanced options, startup settings. So right here, you'll see startup settings. And it's just going to let us go into safe mode. Now, if you need to, for some reason, download something off the internet, you can always go in and you can go in and boot up with networking. So it's going to give us a couple options here. Takes a second for my system to boot up. Come on, baby. So yeah, I'm also going to add to this video the actual replacement of the GPU. So I'm going to switch it, you know, live here. So you'll be able to see that. All right, here we go. And there it is. So enable safe mode, so press 4 on keyboard. Let your system boot up like normal. And like I said, that whole, I think it's from my monitor OC. It's gonna have this kind of weird effect there. So like I said, don't worry about the right side here. So you go to your downloads where you had originally seen that folder and you unzipped it too. Go into the, where is it at? Let me find it. No, that's not it. Let me find it real quick. I thought I did that. Yeah, we'll replace all of it. Okay, so this was the folder. It just went into the folder that I had previously installed. So then you go to the display driver.exe here, launch it. It'll tell you a couple of things real quick. So, you know, it seems to be the first time you've launched it, which it's not. Here's some general options. There is one option here, prevent downloads of drivers. This is just going to be specific to if you don't want your Windows to try to launch some kind of search for a driver when you first boot back up. So we're just going to leave that off. It doesn't really matter for now. Let's go ahead and pick a device type, GPU. If you're coming from NVIDIA, like I am, you're going to select NVIDIA. If you're coming from Intel, select Intel. If you're coming from AMD to go to another device, or maybe you're trying to fix your drivers, you can go ahead and select your brand. So I'm going from the 3090 Ti. So I'm going to go ahead and select either clean and restart, clean and do not restart, which is not recommended, or clean and shut down, and it tells you it's for installing a new graphics card. So clean and shut down. And this is pretty much the bulk of the beginning, right? So once it's done here, you're going to see all the registry edits and everything going through this log. And then my system's going to turn off. From there, I'll unplug everything, turn the power supply off, and then I'll turn the camera back on. So we'll give it a little bit. It doesn't take more than like 1 or 2 minutes. And again, safe mode with networking just means that you have access to the internet. So if for some reason the files weren't installed or something like that, I'd be able to just go in and download them still. So setup API made complete. Should see it cut down here in a little bit. I've used this on Windows 10 as well, so right now you're seeing it on Windows 11 because that's where I'm at, but if for any reason you have Windows 10 and you're just curious if it'll work, it does. There it is. You saw GeForce Experience disappear over here, and the program is shutting itself off, computer's turning itself off, and we are ready to rock and roll. All right, I'm gonna cut it off for a second, and I'll be back. All right, so while I was getting the PC set up, I decided, the 6800 XT just came. Might as well do a little amateur unboxing for you all. Make sure it's still in range, because again, this isn't really my thing, so. Go. I heard good things about the ASRock. Not the whole brand overall, but this particular card. Especially when it comes to the power limits and it having 3 power connectors, so I'm excited. Here we are. Got our little protective cover. Let's come back to the card and see if it comes with anything. Bro. Alright, well this is going to be probably the quickest run through of what comes in the box. Yeah, pretty much there goes all your gaming potential right there, man. How am I supposed to get more FPS? They don't give you anything. Right. Card back. Of course, you got your little plastic or your styrofoam. It's actually fairly large, so I'm kind of glad I've already gotten bigger cases. It's not really a big deal for me. It doesn't look bad. It's not my first pick of looks. And unlike the power color, you actually get the little protector for the GPU connection. And there it is. This is what I had seen as far as for 514. This ain't bad. So again, 3 connectors for higher power limits if you wanted to go that high. This, I'll probably just let it be RGB puke. It looks pretty well maintained. Not maintained, but you know what I mean. I did see this LED switch. Let me try to get it here. Right there. Let's see if I can focus. Right there's a LED switch, so you can turn the RGB on or off if you're going for more of a stealth build. So let's go ahead and peel this plastic off. It is going straight into the case, my boy. There it is. That's kind of strange. My serial number sticker pretty much peeled off with the thing. This is wild, yo. Not something I had expected to happen, so now I gotta keep this. Otherwise, I have to reference the box or something for the serial number. Let's figure this out later. Put that boy there. I'm gonna pause this for a second. Overall, car looks solid. Feels amazing. So it doesn't feel cheap. I'm gonna go ahead and get the case up. We'll start doing that work. I'll probably have to change the camera angle, but it is what it is for now. All right, so it's a pretty tight space that we're gonna be working with. This is my work. I'm upstairs at my work desk. Got the whole fan downstairs. I'm gonna take the glass panel off of the Lee, and then we'll get to work. So, for those of you that have the Lee case, you already know you gotta take that little screw out. All right. Now we in there, so we're gonna take the little retention screws here out. And it's usually a little easier to take it out sideways with the case laying on its back. But because I'm making this video for y'all, I'm going ahead and we're doing it vertically. So this was, when I watched my first ever GPU removal video, this was not in that. They just talked about pressing on this little clip here. Take my, there it is, my anti-sag bracket. I use it up here. It's like 10 bucks. I'll probably throw the description or throw the link in the description. But this thing's been solid. And because it's black, it just blends in. All right, now we're gonna press this little piece here, the release. If I can get my fat finger in there. And there we go. Voila. All right. Now, with these NVIDIA cards, I typically will just undo this. Probably should take these off first. I just have a lot of room going towards the camera. And there we go. So now we're good to go. First GPU out. New one about to go in. The fins are like half the size of the 3090 Ti, so I know this thing's gonna be a little toaster. And there goes that. So here we go. And again, usually much easier if you lay this thing down and do it that way. All right, let me just peel these off real quick. So on the actual GPU fans, you got little stickers. So I'm gonna just, well, not stickers, but like you have a little plastic. So oh, come on, buddy. Should have done this part earlier. It's fine. I think last time I tried to kind of keep the video short, and a lot of people were asking for some of the smaller stuff that I was up to, so we'll leave this in. Might speed it up though, because it's not really like great, great content. Oh. We had a straggler on our hands there. Let's go ahead and do these two. If I could pick up the same side, it should go a lot easier. And I don't think you need to peel these off, but I like to, just in case, like if there's ever like the fans would never get that hot, but just in case there's ever like a plastic smell, I already know in my mind it isn't these. So set it down for a second. I also don't want to apply a lot of pressure either, so I'm being careful not to press down on the fans, so I obviously don't want to break them. At the end of this video, I'm gonna throw it in my, this is my 7900 XT build, so I'm gonna throw it together and we'll probably fire up some Warzone or Warzone 2 and get in there. All right. 66% down. And this last one's a bitch. All right. I'll tell you what, the EVGA ones were definitely easier to take off. That thing, you just kind of come in from the side and they scoop up with your nail. All right, almost there. You ever have something, you're like, oh, this should be pretty quick. And then like 25 minutes later, you're still doing it. That's pretty much what's happening to me right now. All right. All right, we're good to go. So let's go ahead and slap this bad boy in. Much smaller than my 3090 Ti. So again, always want to just be clear. It's easier to do when this is laying down, right? So when the case is down, it's so much easier. All right, so for those of you that are kind of sitting at home like, yo, this is stressful trying to get, you know, I don't have help to get a GPU in there. This is what I like to try to do. Or if you have fat fingers, you could put your finger on one screw like this and then kind of guide it in while you hold it with your other hand. So say here. Got it in there. Start screwing. And now that the first one's in, my second hand's kind of free, right? It's not really going anywhere. And I had already given it a little bit of a lift so that I don't have to, really hold it again, right? It's back where it needs to be. And there we go. Cool. And here we go. Give it this last little tighten. Connect our connectors. So don't use the pigtail first, use this. I'm actually not going to use any of the pigtails. So this needs to be flipped a little bit because it grips from the top. All right. One. I don't like the way this is looking. Let's flip it this way. All right, perfect. So one. All right, we'll tie this under. Two, and I'm using the EVGA GT 1300, so it's a 1300 watt power supply. Power will not be an issue here, even with like spikes and stuff like that. It's way more than I need. And like I said, we're gonna do each one individually. So here's this third one. And come on, buddy. Here we are. There's always one. All right. All three in. I always check my clearance for my fans, make sure none of the connector tips are touching the fan and stuff like that. So right now I'm good. And I'm just gonna give it a little bit of a lift, right? To make sure I keep it straight. This is a significantly smaller card than my 3090 Ti. So I gotta raise this bracket a little bit. Here we are. And there it is. So tighten it, and we are rocking and rolling. So it's got a little bit of a lift. Always try to give your fans a quick spin, because one thing I also say is, if this anti-sag bracket ever gets in the way, it's gonna go ahead and pretty much stop that fan from spinning. Higher GPU temperatures, that's just, simple math. I'm gonna put this back together, and then we are going to hop down to a benchmark. I won't be able to record when I download the AMD software. I mean, I could technically just do it from my phone, but it's pretty simple. So I'll skip that part. Actually, no. Last time I skipped it, people wanted to see, so I'm gonna leave it in there, and I'll record downloading the software, and then we'll actually run it right from the phone. All right, I'll be back. All right, y'all. Your favorite amateur videographer is back. Let's go ahead and fire this up. I'm still recording. No worries. We're not even gonna edit that out. So AM4 does take a long time to boot up and post. So this will take about like 15 seconds. I don't know what it is. I think it's some BIOS updates that looking to address that, but in the beginning, there was God. No, I'm just kidding. When you first get it, if it even boots the first time, it is what it is there, but you can see everything's starting to cut on now. And now here we go. Just do something real quick. Alright. Back. Screen refresh is gonna be stuck at like 60. So we're just gonna go to Edge real quick. I had deleted my shortcut, but I did have the AMD drivers pinned. It's AMD.com. Downloads and support. Let me see. Radeon graphics drivers. They updated their site. So this is when I downloaded my chipset. Changed this is like bright white, can't see nothing. Yeah, this is when I changed my chipset. So we're gonna search. 6800 XT, submit. I'm gonna download the newest driver. So came out on the 15th. That was the Call of Duty one, if I remember correctly. All right, so download's happening. There we go. My screen ratio is still wrong, but it's it should be fixed now. Here, when my mouse comes back, we'll go ahead and continue. This is that part that, all right, we're gonna have to reboot, I guess. All right. Where you can stop Windows from installing your drivers. All right, let me go ahead and do this here. Restart. All right, all my shit reconnected again. Okay. It's like redoing all my shit. Here. Close that. Downloads. Run that. Install. Now you have a couple options. If you plan on recording on like OBS or something like that, you can go with a light install, which will just install the AMD drivers. I plan on using the ReLive software, especially for games like Tarkov, because that's how you can uncap the FPS. Is you go into Radeon ReLive and turn on enhancing and turn off vertical refresh. So there's like a little trick there to get more than your monitor's refresh rate, which at this point I don't even think. And I already know, actually, I don't even have to say think. Unless I'm on factory, I'm not getting 270 FPS in Tarkov. But yeah, let's go ahead and give this a second. It's gonna do its thing. So there it is here. Full install. You have factory reset recommended and where it's gonna install. So we'll just go ahead and hit next. But if you click that drop down that we saw, that's where you would have like minimal install, and I want to say it's a driver only. So then we're gonna say no to AMD collecting information, because I mean, what do they really need to collect from us, right? So restart. This will take a little bit on AM5. If you're on AM4 or something like that, it's much quicker. Yeah, it's initializing right now. So here's the left side of the setup. I'm gonna be making another video here shortly about all the accessories I use. So give y'all a quick preview for y'all that are still around. That's my AMD build with the PS5, and then my Intel builds over here. So this is the 13900K with the 4090. I got a KVM switch for headset, mice, and some of those accessories, and another KVM switch with a with my EVGA capture card for the video and for actually switching DisplayPort. So it's a DisplayPort splitter back there. All right, go ahead. Should pop up with the software and finish installing. So it says it's gonna take 50 minutes. Hopefully y'all got a lot of time. You can sign up for the event on November 3rd. It's actually like November 15th or 16th. Actually, it's later than that. It's the 18th. Whew. I think if anything, out of the new cards, the 6900 XTX is going to be the real winner there. And the 6900 XTX, 7900 XTX, and the 7900 should have been, I would say, $700, man. So it really should have just slotted into where the 6800 XT was, right? But they didn't do it that way, so it is what it is. Who knows? Maybe it'll sit and then they'll start discounting it. I know AMD's not afraid to discount stuff. Nvidia feels bad if they got a discount, but the board partners will. They'll definitely be doing that if they need to. Just waiting for the screen to come back on. If it gets stuck, then I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm just gonna reset the PC. There we go. It's one of those flickers they talked about. I'm probably gonna have this on fast forward anyways. Go. Audio device change, that's fine. Close. Nope. And restart. So that's it here. I'm gonna continue on and we'll fire up and launch Warzone. But now we should be able to have. So the last recording 100% died when I fired up. So this overclock was way too much, and I'm thinking it's the memory, so I'm gonna just reset this and do like 2100 or something. All right, so we'll leave it at 2100. I was getting a whole bunch of flickering and it was just a wild time. So let's go ahead and try this again. We ran the in-game benchmark. We were getting 188 FPS. So let's see if the memory slider changing that did anything. Got anything good? Nope. Nope. That's a better hustle than releasing both those games together like they did last time. Because last time they put all those games together and it was $80 or $70 for the enhanced edition of Miles Morales or whatever it was. It was $70, yeah. So, and that was both Spider-Man and it was Miles Morales. So it was like the first one and that one. So this one was 50, this is 50, or Spider-Man Remaster was 50, and that's 50, so that's $100. But you wouldn't know, because if you were just buying them separate, you'd be like, oh, well, that's not too bad. So we'll go to graphics, it's 1440p, everything low except these two are high, and we'll go games, run the benchmark, drop into Warzone, and see what happens. I haven't seen the flickers. Last time it was flickering like crazy when I was on 2130 megahertz. So again, I think that might have just been too much on the memory. I also set the minimum clock speed to 2450. Kind of nutty. Man, it wasn't this high last time. It's kind of crazy. So maybe I wonder if the 2130 was just breaking it. It's significantly better. Junction temps are okay too. So that's that little GPU temperature in the bottom left is the junction temps, I think. Yeah, that's pretty wild. Let's make sure this was 1440p. Yeah, it was 1440p. So doing 2100 on the memory was significantly better. So last time was 188, and this time was 227. So wild times. Let's go into the zone war and see what happens. Battle Royale. No. Solos. All right. Once this kicks off, I'm probably gonna mute my mic, and I haven't seen any flickers. Last time it was flickering like mad before, so yeah, I think we're good. I'm gonna mute my mic, and we are gonna roll out from here. I also saw during the benchmark we were at like 255 watts, which was, like I said, even with some transients, it won't, like 1300 watts is overkill to the max. But I think if Warzone, we'll see what the drop is like. But if it's solid, remember we're going through and it's 1440p. We got SMA 2X, no upscaling or sharpening, and textures and texture filtering both on high. Everything else on low. I like the weapon motion blur. Somebody made a comment about it earlier, and I was like, yeah, I like it. Alright, gonna see here. Once we do get a screen, hopefully it happens sometime soon. And it doesn't. So. Yeah, it's about the same. So that benchmark was significantly higher, but the actual gameplay didn't really change. Ooh. What was that? Somebody was out here with the most fucked up mic. The stutter. This actually doesn't feel like stuttering, it's just the server's broken. Alright, I'm gonna mute up and then we'll run through this one.
Enemy soldier incoming. Warm-up is over. Stand by for deployment to the war zone.
Whoa, we need 270s with the sky.
Get to the safe zone.
Alright, let's go airport. Usually people drop there, so I should die pretty quickly. Should be okay though. It's something. Performance is something.
Targets are up. Get to work.
This game feels broken though. It's getting high FPS, but it does not. It doesn't feel like stuttery or anything like that. It's pretty smooth. I could just feel that it's on the server side. The shit is just like yanking, and the visuals as I'm running are like jerking and shit. Like, look at this dude running. I'm gonna go challenge though. I ain't gonna lie to you, I just ain't got my sniping skills down on this shit either. I've been missing the wide open shots. It's terrible. Hurts.
Enemy UAV active.
Somebody been in here already.
Cluster mine deployed!
Gas is inbound.
Holy shit!
Fight for your chance to redeploy.
Yeah, that was annoying. But that stuttering never stopped and never corrected itself.
Soldiers, you failed in life, but I offer you.
What you trying to do? You go, I'll follow. I'm getting a lot of stutter though.
Where you came. Fail, and your corpses will feed my dogs.
Waste both. Wasting my shit. Over here. My shit's like in the fucking past, bro. You see, buddy? Over here.
Welcome to the motherland. Yo, what up?
You're funny.
Oh, is this you?
Fucking dude. I'm going back on mute. Let's just do say, welcome to the motherland.
They hit us hard that time.
Shit!
We will settle the score.
He's just better.